I'm Robert Downey Jr., founder of Footprint Coalition, and this is Action Planet.
I'm not a scientist, but my lay understanding of the science is that the situation is growing more and more urgent.
When you take action, your life gets a meaning. When you get a meaning in life, you become happy.
When people connect, they care.
When you're feeling well and doing well, you have no choice but to be well to the planet.
We are up to the task of managing this crisis.
And it's a mountain we can climb if we climb it together.
If we don't do what science demands, we pass a tipping point, and it's out of our control.
The mission of Footprint Coalition is also the definition, an alliance for combined action. We really are interested in the media side of things and content, and I think it really mobilizes folks. It does me when I can have these complex ideas kind of collapsed into something that I consider just a little minute or two blurb that helps me understand the largeness of something. We try to keep it fun, light, and easy-ish to understand. And then super important is we give grants to some of those R&D folks that are going to really write the rules and come up with technologies that maybe 50, 75, 200 years from now will be thankful that we gave them the attention they deserved when they were in their infancy. One of the innovations and then investments that really blew my mind is this fascinating company called RWDC. They're bio-based alternatives to plastic. But the way they do it is by feeding used cooking oil to microbes. And that innovation in and of itself is kind of part of the flywheel of, I think, the innovation that's required. We have to take something and use more natural resources to make our products. So it does just that. As far as an investment in grants, there's these folks who are essentially writing the rules for what is the ethical compliance and behaviors that are going to be necessary as we enter cellular agriculture and acellular agriculture, where we're growing leathers and making meat alternatives literally out of science. This stuff is like Isaac Asimov would blush. We didn't do it with AI. We didn't do it with the internet. It's not too late to do it for these other emerging technologies. There was a specific moment of inspiration, and I have to thank that Bezos fellow because a few summers ago, he asked me to be a keynote speaker at the REMARS conference. And while I was putting together my presentation, I thought, hey, I probably don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm going to spend the next 10 years dividing my time between my day job, my kids, my family, my just day-to-day responsibilities, and this. And so far, it's been a little daunting in that it takes a lot more than half of one's waking hours to even scratch the surface of this stuff. But anybody who knows me knows that if I'm not engaged, I am, boring alert. I need something bigger than me. And I also love to be a worker amongst workers, you know? Oh boy. Okay, that's a first. Iron Man would solve today's crisis. But first of all, he'd be doing it for me afterworld because he has alighted to greener pastures. It'd be like this. He would inspire Peter Parker in a dream. Peter would then go to Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner and tell them they must find Shuri in Wakanda or wherever she's presently located, because she is the one most likely to already be working with the kind of technologies that we would need. I'll just grab an easy one, you know, stop the single-use plastics and don't buy them, because for the sake of that convenience, you are feeding the beast. Reducing animal protein intake also is something that, again, it's about reduction and mitigation. It's not about some massive sacrifice. Vote your planetary conscience. That's always a big deal. And plant something. Retirement party that I pledged at the REMARS conference, it's going to be like this. It will be a completely off the grid concert. It will be within a wind turbine powered roller disco. That's just where I'm at today. We'll keep building on it. Send ideas in and you can be my party planner, everybody. The way my mind has changed regarding the climate crisis from when I was a kid to now is when I was a kid, it was foretold. And now, as a middle-aged male, I'm seeing that it is upon us. It is imminent. I'm also not one of those doomsday nay sprayers, shame thrower, blame throwers. It doesn't matter. You know, we are up to the task of managing this crisis. I know it. For the young person who is in their anxiety about this crisis, I have a twofold answer. One is, this is not your anxiety to deal with. You inherited this. This is our fault. So A, get off your own back, and B, know that you are the greatest generation because you're going to inherit certain of the innovations that we scrambled to put together. The wind will be at your back, and you're going to be the benefactors of this new world notion that we can all act in a way that preserves our planet. By the way, we keep talking about it. This planet, even if we wind up exploring others and colonizing, let's leave a nice artifact behind. It's like a clean up your room thing. So anyway, I have immense belief in the current generation. I think they're exactly the souls we need. The northern white rhino, there's two of them left right now. They're both female. So I would start with something that bridges the gap between addressing the de-extinction debate, but also saying, can we just make two partners for those two females? They'll take care of the rest. To me, reduce. Reduce is something that's tangible to me. Can I do that thing that I'm not going to stop doing? Can I do it less? Can I be comfortable with something that gives me the same zing as bacon, but doesn't burn up that many resources to get it to my table and into my gullet, you know? So a little less goes a long way. Some of this sounds like Benjamin Franklin's almanac, you know? If I had to pick a single word to describe the state of play right now, I would call it fluxtastic. We all know it. We're feeling it. So much is changing. We're kind of like gripping our seats, but yet as we come out of the wormhole that has been the pandemic and all of the other issues that have been bubbling up over the last year, there is this sense of this pending newness in springtime. And I feel like there's some circles closing and there are, I mean, you know, no big reach here, brighter days ahead. If there's something that I'm hopeful for the planet, it's, you know, what's that great U2 lyric? I can't change the world, but I can change the world in me if I rejoice. The idea of the possibility of this attitudinal shift catching on and becoming the norm, I mean, that's a golden age moment right there. So better we think, the better world we'll step into.